Hello. I promised myself a couple months ago, that when I finished a particular sketchbook, that I would make a sketchbook tour diary of the sketchbook video and make it my first YouTube video. So here we go. My name's Hannah. I'm an artist in Suffolk in the UK. I love landscapes, I love botanicals, I love flowers and vessels and things like that. And yeah, I'm going to start sharing some of my journey and some of my work here on YouTube, which is exciting and terrifying because I've been putting off making this channel or starting this channel. I've had the name of the channel for months, again, like ready to go, but I've just not actually done anything. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, so here is the sketchbook that I'm going to show you. Let me just make sure that I'm in shot. Yes, I am. So I started this at the end of July because it was when I went on holiday. And it's mostly abstract landscapes, pretty much all abstract landscapes. And I started here. This is some collage paper that I made. I was using this is a palette. This paper is a palette. And there we start. And I'm just going to flick through and just talk about the things that are kind of popping out to me about my work. So I've used some found collage here. So these are some envelopes from my daughter's birthday. I'm using watercolours and kind of gestural marks. Excuse me. This is a collage paper that was made with bubble wrap, and I'm also using some collage here, which is old books, and I think Posca pens here also came into play. So I'm just enjoying using kind of these landscape kind of marks across the page, and then also more collage paper, watercolors. I painted these pages, a lot of them with white acrylic paint, and some of them with gesso, I think, but I think a lot of these are this is white acrylic paint, using graphite pencil as well. I have these or this graphite pencil, which is Faber-Castell one. I think it's a 9B by the looks of it, and these are great for making big thick marks. So we go through. Oh, Mr. Page. I actually really love these ones, and this kind of structure comes up later in the book, and I really love those ones as well. So here we go. One of my absolute favorite colors is this fluorescent pink. And at some point in the book, I start, instead of going across this way with the landscapes, I start going across. Here we go. I start going across here. And I actually love the simplicity of some of these. Some of the later on ones have got a lot more paint, a lot more going on. And I actually love the simplicity and the contrast of these early ones, which is why it's so good to go back through your sketchbooks and just to look at what you've done. And at the time you were like, nah, it's okay. And then when you look back on it, you can really see the pathway that you've taken, and you can really see the good points of your painting because you're just like stepped back from it a little bit. You kind of forgotten about it, and then when you look at it again, you're like, oh, you know, some of these I don't love, and that's fine. I don't mind that. It's still a body of work that I've been consistent at, and I don't have to love all of it. It's not essential to the process, and actually it's good because you then learn what you like and what you don't like. Some swatches that I did of some paints that I was using, or some new paints that I got, again using my palette paper as collage paper, and you can see here through the paint is the writing in the book. So this is a book about needlework, so this is all about sewing. So underneath are all these pictures and these words coming through. More swatches of different colours, and then we move into more acrylics. This is collage as well with paint and acrylic, and one of these I think this is a brush pen. So this pen here is wonderful. It's a Pentel, sorry, brush pen. So it's brilliant, and you can make all these wonderful marks of it, and it's refillable, so you buy the cartridges to go in it. Really good. I love this. There's a lot going on. Again, some of these are they borderline? They're borderline not a landscape, but that's fine. Or recently I've referred to it as the landscape of my heart. So when I feel like a landscape's gone a bit past what visually a landscape looks like, I'm like, this is the landscape, my inner landscape, the landscape of my heart. Collage papers these are made with leaves. So I've made these on the jelly plate. Bubble wrap here. This is some paper from wrapping paper. These are kind of official collage papers. They might even be decoupage sort of papers. I love this. I love the contrast and the simplicity of it. And then we come into these they're colour studies really, I suppose. And this is a stencil that I had that I love. This is obviously some an old book that I've been ripping up. Fluorescence. I love fluorescence. I really get into the fluorescence. I love the muted tones of this one. And the fact that I've kind of covered over the stencil with kind of a white wash. I really like that. Now, this is one of my favourite paintings in the whole book. I really love it. I just love the drama of it, and yeah, just the expressiveness of it, the freedom of it. Again, borderline landscape, but this has got some of my favourite colours in it. This fluorescent pink. I love this collage paper with the, again, this is not really a landscape, but here I was just playing with collage. Again, simplicity, line, collage, homemade collage papers. This one is, I love this one actually. And I've used in this one some just biro, and again some collage papers that I found. This is a dress pattern that I've used, that I've ripped up. Dress pattern's really nice because it creates a lovely wrinkly texture that I really like. And yeah, this is again one of my favourite ones, and it's not as painty, but it's very expressive, which I love. Again, this is one of my favourite ones, using biro. I think one of the downsides of the biro is it kind of leaves this haze around the paint sometimes, or it kind of bleeds, and then you can't paint over it as many times as you paint over it. Like, it just keeps coming through, which is kind of magical really, but it is something to consider when you're using biro. Again, I don't love this, but there's some really interesting things happening. I love the texture on this one, and then as we move through, I love the colours in this one actually. The print that I've done here with the bubble wrap, this sun or this moon here, this is kind of a theme that I play with on and off as well. Here I was working with some kind of making some tree shapes. I made some stamps. So let me see here. And this is just cardboard, and this is foam that it's got a sticky side, so you cut round it, you draw a shape on it, cut round it, and then you can stick it straight on the cardboard and make a stamp, which is a really nice, fun thing to do. This is another stamp that I made here. Here I've used some acrylic medium with like sand in it, with like a grainy texture to it. Maps that I've cut up to use for collage paper. This is kind of more of a traditional sort of landscape, but I just love this tree. This is whatever, but this tree I love. And sometimes I'll find that there's something about one page that I really love. The rest of it is meh, but there's something there that I absolutely love. And that tree is this part of that page. This is another one that I absolutely love. The expressiveness of it, the messiness of it. I just love it. Like, it's just messy like life, right? Again, this one's much more simple. I love the colours of this one and brightness of this one. There's a lot going on here. I started drawing vulvas, which are a symbol to me of creation. I have 4 children and I created them from my body. And so this is a symbol that I absolutely love. And here I've also started bringing in some little houses as well. So there's a few pages where I bring in these little kind of drawn houses, and the idea of home and coziness and kind of home amongst the chaos. I think that's the kind of thing that I was, you know, thinking at the time. And some of these things only become apparent when you look back on the work. I love this page, actually. It's a complete mess, but I absolutely love it. Again, I love this kind of creamy, it reminds me of custard. And I love custard. So here we go. This is where this moon shape has come in, or half a moon there. I love this page. Again, is it a landscape? And I've done some writing here, so I write into my work, and you won't know, you won't be able to read it, and I won't be able to read it afterwards. But at the time, I was writing something that was important to me for whatever reason. Again, the pink and the green together, I love. The fluorescent palette, some more writing. And then I came across some brushes that were really good for blending. So I stole one of these from my mum. It's called an ink duster, but it's really good for blending, but also for these really lovely kind of scratchy marks with the paintbrush. I don't know what it's made of. I wonder. It's definitely hair of some sort, I would say. Again, it's quite messy. I don't love it, but also there's some really lovely things going on that I do like. I used a stencil here with the alphabet that I really like, the stencil effect. And I also really like this limited colour palette here as well with the ink drips. I love the ink. This is black acrylic ink. It's so wonderful because when it dries, it's got a shine to it. It doesn't leak, so you can paint over the top of it and it will stay stuck. This I love, a stencil I've used within the landscapes, and I like this idea of kind of a natural landscape, a natural kind of marks with the brush, but then also this kind of very structured, again, about contrast. This I absolutely love. This just poured out of me one morning. It was literally done and dusted in about 10 minutes. So sometimes you just hit on a gem immediately. I love botanicals, so these leaves I've drawn, and I love berries. So a lot of my early stuff, I did I did a lot of watercolours of berries and leaves and things like that, and I still absolutely love these kind of shapes. There's a lot of I have a lot of trees I'm lucky I have a lot of trees in my garden. The place where I walk my dog, there's a lot of trees and a lot of bushes and berries, and I just love the shape of them and the colours of them, especially this time of year, in October. This I love, absolutely love this with the pink. My fluorescent pink and green is like my favourite colour combination. And then I started bringing in these marks, and I think these are made with my Inktense. So these are Inktense Derwent pencils, and I really love these, and they are just really lush to use, but kind of buttery to use, but then also they blend really well. And also if you brush over the top of them, they create this kind of swishing effect because they kind of melt with the water, but then they stick with the water as well. So when they're wet and then they dry, that means it's sealed in. Another page that I love, and then we're getting towards the end now. This was just an underlayer. I was going to paint over the top, but I just loved this so much that I just left it as it was because I just really enjoyed the scratches and the scribbles. Bit of gold in here. These are tea bags. So dry out tea bags, empty out the tea after they've been used, and use them for collage, and they're absolutely great, like lovely texture, and they're quite small, so you can put loads of them or you can kind of dot them around. Some writing there on some collage paper that I've done. I was playing with contrast here. I'm doing a course with Louise Fletcher called Find Your Joy, and this week we're doing a contrast theme. So I was trying to have that theme of like the something structured and then also something quite flowy and wild. So that's what I've done here with these shapes and the colours as well. The dark colours and the pale colours together as a contrast. And then here as well, this is the last page. So thank you so much for joining me in this YouTube, and I really hope to make more videos. Please let me know what you would like to see from me on YouTube. Obviously, you've kind of got an idea of the kind of thing that I love and that I'm into, but do let me know what you'd like to see, and let me know which one was your favourite and which colours you like. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.